Welcome to Stories and Songs by Afterglow Music. My name is Joel McCausland.
And I'm Kevin Peay, and we've been creating music for a long time.
We'd like to tell you the stories behind our songs. Should I start this one, Kev?
Sure.
I kind of struggled with this song in the writing, and there's a reason for that. It's kind of a personal touch point for me, but I want to be clear. You know, sometimes I write songs from my own experience, and by that I mean things I'm personally going through. And in this case, it was all about observation. It was all about seeing other people and hopefully getting a little bit of a lesson from that. The song's called Through His Eyes. It's on our Walk With Me album, and it's a little bit unique because I'm hoping to understand the perspective of somebody else's challenge.
It took a while for me to notice that this one had his own ways. He seemed to see a world that was hidden, wondrous things beyond my gaze. But in time I came to know him, and in time I learned to see the Spirit shining in his heart, and the things he's taught to me. I wish I could be like him, wish I could see through his eyes.
Joel, I like how this has come together, specifically the lyrics and the production. Grateful to be able to sing a few bars with you on this one. It strikes me from the get-go, when I've listened to this recently and been refreshed even today, to me it feels like we have got to be better at not judging books by their cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And it's interesting to watch the volunteerism that happens in different organizations, specifically where people get in and start to walk the walk.
Mm-hmm.
Versus effort to shy away and not be a solution solver. It's one of those opportunities. Until you have experienced homelessness, you don't understand what homelessness is.
That's right.
And if you look at a disability or a special need and it's uncomfortable to you, maybe we need to dig a little deeper in regards to service to that specific person or situation so that we can understand it better. And seeking to understand just brings so much expansion of our heart, human spirit, and mind to be able to help what the Savior wants us to do in this life, and that is to walk and share burdens and to help others versus just taking a different road.
Turning away, yeah. You know, I almost felt a little bit like, almost like unqualified to talk about this because I don't have a special needs brother or sister. I haven't really had to deal with the hard part of that, where you're getting them through a crisis or you're dealing with things that they do but can't control, and it makes it hard for your family or for your life. This is really, for me, observational in the sense that I've been inspired by some people that we know in our neighborhood, in our ward, and extended family, who clearly their lives are different than mine because they have one or two or even three kids in their family that are struggling with some of these challenges. The other day I was standing after church in the parking lot waiting for Diana to come out, and a young kid in our ward whose special needs came out. He's probably 15, and he's also not verbal, or at least not with strangers. But as I came out the door, he's standing next to our Jeep, just standing there by himself, nobody around. And that's very odd for him. They usually have one parent or a sibling with him all the time when he's at church. And I walked out to him, and I just had this moment. It was almost kind of like a sacred moment. You know, you see a little deer in the forest, you want to spook him. I felt like, what can I say and how can I say it that won't cause him to be nervous or uncomfortable? And I just came up and stood by him by the front of the Jeep and just talked kind of low voice for a little. He didn't really respond, but he just kind of sat there. And after a few minutes, it seemed to start feeling more comfortable and like it was okay. And he wasn't afraid or anything like that. And as we're standing there, I texted his mom and his dad and said, hey, if you're looking for him, he's with me out here in the parking lot. And after a few minutes, he came. It's another kind of a witness, maybe in a way, that says just what you were saying a minute ago, the idea of trying to understand and trying to see a little better. And when I got kind of the metaphor in my mind for this song, the idea of seeing through their eyes, because to me, a lot of times, people that are in a special needs situation who can't maybe communicate or interact, how do you understand enough, even though you can't understand it all, that you can kind of see the world through their eyes, or see, if not that, then the possibilities? Because these are children of glory, and they are going to be amazing to us once we see them for who they really are. It's kind of an interesting journey for me. I don't have the answers, but it was an inspirational thing to sit down and try to write this and think about it.
I love the perspective of through the child's eyes. I'm also in a thought process of understanding it through the parent's eyes as well. And you have things that parents need to be able to have a respite somehow. And there's no magic formula for what that respite is, especially for a parent who is daily into a special needs situation that tirelessly are helping their child. And so the Spirit will prompt us if we're seeking and not to move away. And even if it's nothing verbal, even if it's a simple hug, if it's a simple, I know you're there. And is there something that we can do that can alleviate some of that for you? We've witnessed a number of parents who will just simply say, I had a neighbor who just simply dropped by and wanted to go for a walk with me, and do the very best that they could. Didn't have to say anything. They just wanted to serve in that capacity. And so a big shout out to the parents who do that. We've had a number of wonderful opportunities to visit with through these eyes. One of them I can think of is Jeremy, who specifically changed our world. And with Jeremy comes DG, who they're nonverbal. One has passed to the other side and is in amazing glory right now, but his parents have spent more than 19 years in regards to just the care of a wheelchair, the care of visiting hospitals constantly, and to witness their caregiver mentality and their countless efforts associated with these beautiful, wonderful children. And there must be some great, amazing reward that's coming. I think of DG, and they cannot necessarily communicate, but they can communicate through their eyes.
Yeah.
Through their smiles.
You feel something there, right?
You do, but what's interesting is there are certain triggers by which Jeremy would get so excited about. When I'd play the ukulele for him, music was so big for him. And then if he saw a pretty girl, it was just, through his eyes, if he saw a pretty girl, man, he was excited. Mm-hmm. And they love the sights and sounds and the beauty of God's creations and music. But I have to come back to the shout out of the tireless efforts of caregivers, whether it be a single mom or a
so many
dad
people,
or a
like you said, without any real rest. They just keep doing it year after year and day after day.
And so being sensitive to what it is we can do, the Holy Ghost will tell us if we're seeking, and we don't want to be overbearing, but at the same time we want to be present.
Yeah.
If they want us to be. And you'll know when that happens, but it's a beautiful experience when you let yourself and immerse yourself into their world in whatever they like to do, and you spend the time to be present. Because the parents love you to be present in most cases. They love that diversion of somebody being present in their child's lives, or in their brother's life, or in their uncle's life, or an aging parent, or whatever it might be.
Yep, whoever needs that.
Just to be able to go spend time. I know that Cindy has spent time at a care center with our friend Ellen, who is now, I believe, about 104 years old. And she's always in one position every day when Cindy will go say hello, because that's where Cindy's dad was for a period of time till he passed away. But the daughter of Ellen really appreciates somebody just coming and being with her mother. Uh-huh. And taking some of that interest towards a family member. It seems to lift whenever we choose to serve in that type of a capacity and get outside of our busy lives and be present in somebody else's life.
Yeah, for sure. There's opportunities there for us. I'm not sure that I'll ever be called upon to pass through something like that. I'm not sure I'll ever really understand that challenge. But I do think there are blessings that come when we try to understand it. Sometimes the compensatory blessings that a family gets that has to go through that. And sometimes, as you said, the blessings that we can access and maybe give when we're the person who gives them a break, or when we try to do what we can to help. This is kind of a little bit different, but a kind of a related situation, and it caused me to think about this a little bit deeper. I might have mentioned this too, but we have a local leader in our church up by where we live who got diagnosed with brain cancer. And initial word was, this is terminal. He's not going to live. And of course, we fasted and prayed, and we continue to do that for him. And I guess it's been a couple of years probably now. And I saw him the other day. We were going for some interviews for the Temple Recommend, and he's there, big smile on his face. I asked him how he was doing. I'm great. I'm awesome. And he looks good. He looks healthy and strong and all those things. But I was talking to my neighbor, who's one of the people he works closely with in the church. I asked him, how is he doing? Is it going to be okay? He said, probably not in the way you're thinking. But he said, I wonder what we'll all learn from this. And then he went on to talk about what a huge example this guy's been to him, and how he just is the epitome of how you get through a challenge or suffering or really devastating news like this in a way that's faithful and strong. And I think maybe to bring that back to this song, the idea that nobody signs up to be a lesson for everybody else. We're here to do whatever we can do. But sometimes I'm sure I've missed those lessons I could have learned by being involved in the service, or even just trying to understand the perspective of a family who has this situation, or the person themselves who I really don't understand what it's like to be unable to do the things I'd like to do. So I don't know, this has been personal for me, and I'm hoping that it's something that people will respond to as well.
Well, and what you just shared was he was awesome when he said he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And he's made a choice to be awesome.
Yes.
In whatever circumstance. And so you meet people like that, and you go, okay, when my turn comes, will I be awesome?
I want to be that awesome.
I want to be awesome.
Right.
And I want to get up every day and be awesome. So thank you for sharing that, because through his eyes, he gave that lesson of how we should respond to certain circumstances. So Thank you for writing this song and letting me be a part of it, and hope the audience loves it as well.
Thanks.
It took a while for me to notice that this one had his own ways. He seemed to see a world that was hidden, wondrous things beyond my gaze. But in time I came to know him, and in time I learned to see the Spirit shining in his heart, and the things he's taught to me. I wish I could be like him, wish I could see through his eyes. At first I saw only the limits, all of the things he couldn't do. Sometimes I asked why he faced these trials. Why wasn't he like me and you? But in time I came to know him, and in time I learned to see a Spirit shining in his heart, and the things he's taught to me. I wish I could be like him, wish I could see through his eyes. Maybe he learned before he came the lessons of this life. Maybe he came to show the way to greater light. I wish I could be like him, wish I could see through through his eyes. But in time I came to know him, and in time I learned to see the Spirit shining in his heart. Oh, the things he's taught to me. I wish I could be like him, wish I could see. I wish I could be like him, wish I could see through his eyes.